So with this secondary throttle plate here, it's loose and rattly. I'm not really totally sure how this old stuff works, but I do know that this is probably leaking and that it makes the engine less efficient and robs of it potential power. It's always a little bit difficult to show these things, you know, these little things, but realistically, I'm not really sure what's holding all this in, so I kind of just have to take it apart. There's a hole here, so I'm going to plug that up so that nothing falls down in there. I believe what holds it in place is actually the butterfly. Go. So it actually is closed on this side. Kind of looks like a 1/4 inch hole there. So I got out my little box of tap and actually got these from an old machinist. It was at a garage sale. I think he passed away. Kids were selling everything. These were the only ones. They looked like they were neglected. A lot of them were done, had rust and stuff. These ones are still pretty sharp, so I grabbed as many as I could. So I think 5/16 is going to work pretty good here. These things always get a little bit more complicated if you don't have the exact right tool. But I do have another one of these, like a little inherited things that I didn't throw away. I just couldn't have the heart. It's so cute. This little Craftsman metal tin box ratchet set. So it's square and it fits perfectly into a 1/4 star. The issue is going to fall out, so I think I might put a little bit of electrical tape on that just to hold it. It's got to have some cutting fluid. So this may not have been the right size that went in. I think the hole's a little bit too big for 5/16. It did cut. You can actually see the threads, but the threads may be too shallow here. There's that gardener again. It's always noisier around here, but I just want to get a quick shot. You can see the threads hopefully in the camera. I'll move it around. Doesn't do great close-ups. So I messed this up a little bit. I'm gonna have to back up a bit. I said out loud that I thought this was a 1/4 inch hole, and so it just kind of stuck in my mind, so I tapped 5/16, but it's actually a 5/16 hole, right? So that reads 20/64, which is 5/16. So a 5/16 bolt doesn't necessarily catch the threads. For a 5/16 hole, you need to kick up a size for the tap and use a 3/8 tap. So once I tap that, those should thread in there pretty good. The fact that I already tapped it shouldn't make too much difference. You don't want all those shavings around. I decided to use actually a bolt from the seat belts instead of those stainless ones. Stainless cutting through and grinding is a lot more trouble than it's worth. So these, I cut it down with the Dremel and then ground it down flat and then used a file to get it just the right length. And then I'm gonna use aviation gasket seal. That's way more than I need. Toe under this for all the squeeze out. I don't want it all over the engine. There's not a risk of it coming back out. Stuff dissolves in alcohol or solvent. Nice and clean, nice and flush. So it's time to reassemble. Cleaned up the gasket surface, cleaned up the threads a bit. So I'll wait till I finish the other side before I kind of tighten everything down, just in case I have to pull things off. Like for example, the fuel hose doesn't go on unless one of them's off, but as long as I remember to do it on the other side, it should work.